Yes, hello folks, it's me, Ghost Critic, back again for another week of comic books. Again, big stash this week, so I'm going to split the vlogs into two. I've got 4 DC and 4 Marvel comics to review, so makes sense. This is the DC review, and let's kick it off with Red Robin, and it's number 23. And for DC this week, it's kind of the covers that don't really tell you a lot and don't really tie into what's inside the comic type of week. Yeah, we've got this scene of Red Robin with 2 smoking guns in his hand, a kind of outline of a dead body with a blood stain in it. It's not in here. I don't know why it's there. It looks kind of cool, but it doesn't tell you anything about what's going on in the comic. Hey ho, let's get on inside, and there is a lot going on. Whether it's relevant or has a point, I'm not too sure. Right, so we've got the fake battle with Lynx, who seems to be an on and off kind of maybe, could be, are they going to get together or not kind of relationship. That leads on to a little chat with Gordon, that leads on to this assassination trap to bring out whoever's killing off CEOs, which leads on to the trip after they've got the original Scarab out of jail over to Egypt, which leads to the finale. Spoiler, this assassination tournament. And you know, it seems to be a long-winded way to get to the cliffhanger. And while it's enjoyable enough, there is a lot of action goes on in here. There's lots of jokes, lots of, you know, there's a lot of stuff going on, but it just seems to be padded out to get to this cliffhanger that Red Robin's on the list now to kill, and he's trapped and he's surrounded by all these assassins. How's he gonna get out? Dum dum dum! A little bit let down this this month with Red Robin. It usually is such a solid title, and I usually love reading this and I lap up every page. This was a little off for me this week. Birds of Prey, number 12, and another nonsensical cover. Though it is quite cool. As soon as I looked at this, I don't know why, but I kind of had this Tarantino-esque kind of vibe to it. You've got, you know, the whole layout of all the characters. You know, all they needed to be in was in exactly the same black and white suit, and you could have had Reservoir Dogs. And of course there's this big explosion in the background, which is a bit weird given what's inside. Now, it does kind of follow the kind of Tarantino-esque that I picked up from the cover, in the, you know, this is like, they're breaking into some building for some reason. And I say that because there didn't seem to be a whole lot of setup, i.e. why are you doing this? Apparently there's a database in this building that Oracle can't get to, or, you know, for whatever reason. And you know, this is Oracle we're talking about, you know, big time hacker, one of the best probably in the whole world, and she can't get at this database. So to get at this computer database, she has to, you know, get her team together, and they do this kind of breaking into the complex to get at these data files. Which is all fun and well. There's kind of a Mission Impossible vibe in there as well. And lots of sneaking about, covering up stuff. We have this kind of chairman, head honcho guy who's, you know, a little bit in the head. And right at the end, spoiler, we get Ragdoll's daughter, who has kind of taken on the family legacy of being an evil, you know, serial killer, and she's called Junior. And she's got this whole hood over her face, she's got 2 scissors in her hand, and it just kind of comes out of the blue, and I don't know. again, a little lacklustre. Going on with this, there's also Huntress off on her own little mission with the Question, Montoya, and who are taking down some dirty cops. It seems to be interconnected because Huntress is in contact with Oracle at the same time, and there's a kind of big you've got to get him out of there kind of thing, plot line from Huntress, and she runs off to try and save them kind of thing. But the connection between the two is a little tenuous, to say the least. Again, another title that's usually really solid, but a little bit off this week. Sorry. On to DC's Vertigo line of titles. It's Cinderella Fables Are Forever, number 4. And I usually love these, I really do, but my God, is this title dragging on a bit. I mean, again, the artwork is all nice. You're not getting anything different from past issues, but it's still very nice to look at. The storyline, as I said, it is dragging. Basically what we're doing here is we're getting more exposition, more history of the relationship between Dorothy and Cinderella, and, you know, all their run-ins and how they've escaped from each other. And all the while, you know, Cinderella's been caught and she's being taken to wherever Dorothy is. But I'm just, again, it's just a little bit lacklustre now. There's another 2 issues of this to go, and I just think, what can they possibly pull out the bag here to really go, oh wow, that made it all worthwhile? I just don't see it. There was a nice little bit, the kind of the origin of Dorothy and why she's become this this kind of assassin, I suppose you could call her. So that was quite nice, the way, you know, yeah, in the story of the Wizard of Oz, you know, her house lands on a witch who dies, and then she goes to see the Wizard of Oz, and the Wizard of Oz here kind of employs her to kill another witch, which she does, and, you know, Dorothy kind of likes this kind of lifestyle of killing people. So that's how she got into the game. I thought that was quite amusing. But anyway, the story's usually, it's quite inventive, you know, you've got glass cats knocking about, you've got kind of what you think are robot type people, but they're actually being driven by these kind of animated cutlery. But I just want, you know, Robertson, it is Robertson, isn't it? Robertson, just get on with it. I think this could have been done in 4 issues, but we've got another 2 to go. So, again, another lacklustre issue from DC. Can The Unwritten number 25 make it 4 for 4, or is this the light at the end of the tunnel? It is and it isn't. New storyline, not going to be that much of an impact, I wouldn't have thought, given that it's just a 2-part story. And this is the auction of Wilson Taylor's all of his belongings. They've all been housed in this auction house, and our team, our bunch of heroes, want to get in there and steal Wilson's journals, because they think there's going to be information in there that is going to be relevant to Tom, and how the storyline, we would hope, is going to progress. And that's the trouble with this issue. There isn't much progression. We get Tommy come back from after his foray into the world of what was initially Moby Dick, and him realising what the power of, you know, the heart of the power of this magic literary world is. And they break into the auction house to steal the personal journals, and of course Tom sees all these artifacts, belongings of his from the past, and of course they're going to bring back memories, not least of all the isolation tank which he used to be housed in. by his father, and it brings back a lot of memories. But of course, this isn't just a simple tale. This is actually a trap by a Mr. Whiteleaf, and it would appear that he wants to sell these three as a kind of a job lot to finish the whole Wilson auction off. I mean, I can understand Tommy and oh sugar, what's her name? Lizzie. I can understand them wanting to sell those two, but Richie, I don't see the relevance to Richie unless that's going to come up, unless it's just because he's been bitten by Ambrosia. Who knows? Again, oh, I hate to say this because I really do like Unwritten, but a bit lame. What I did like, Vertigo, apparently there's an American Vampire 5-issue limited series. I've never collected it before, but it's got one of my favourite artists in Sean Murphy, and the artwork within that is what you would expect of Sean, and maybe. So yeah, that's it from DC. It was all a bit there this week, unfortunately. Let's hope Marvel up their game and show DC what it's like. So, see you in 5.